Welcome to the first episode of an interview with series, and today's guest we have Kim Mack joining us. Kim's running for the 18th Congressional District, and welcome, Kim.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome, and just tell us a little bit about yourself today.
Well, I am a military widow, mother of 4. I have 2 grandkids. I grew up in New York City. I was born in McKeesport. My brothers and I, we were orphaned when I was 5, so my dad's youngest sister adopted us. And I came back 19 years ago when my aunt, my mom's sister, got sick. And I came back to take care of her. And I stayed till she passed, and then I'm still here.
Good to have you here. Okay, so we'll move into the first question. And what do you see facing as the biggest problem in your community?
Well, my district is huge. I would say for the majority of my district, I would have to say crime, unemployment, the lack of job training and job transportation. There's jobs that, that are available, but people are having a hard time getting them and they're not properly trained. The urban blight in the community, the decayed and run down, dilapidated houses, the poor roads. And then I would have to say also the drugs, the drug usage, opioid usage, the marijuana usage is high. People can't pass the drug test for a lot of these jobs. And I'm really upset that the lieutenant governor took his opportunity to do a statewide tour about legalizing marijuana instead of talking about healthcare, jobs, or education. So I would have to say those are the majority of, or I would say the most severe problems for the district. I mean, we have a part of the district that's doing well and they're not experiencing it as much, but it is an 80-20 extreme difference district.
Okay. Now, I've heard that you refer to the district as a forgotten district. What do you mean by that?
Well, as I just said, the district is 80% socioeconomically depressed. So we have that 80% that is experiencing the crime and the unemployment and that kind of situation. Then we have the other 20% that is doing well. But because of the Democratic having such a strong foothold into this community, the Republican Party doesn't think that it's a viable race to run. And then the Democratic Party takes us for granted and uses us, makes promises that they don't keep, empty promises, broken promises. So we've had, under Mike Doyle, we've had 25 years, a quarter century of abuse. And, I would say under the Democratic Party, at least 50 years of abuse. So during my campaign, as a write-in, because it was the one on the ballot. So there is a point where the Republican Party doesn't think it's worth it to fight, and then we've lost our voice as a community. We've given it away to the Democratic Party, so we have to take our voice back. So we are forgotten. We're forgotten. Right now, this is 2020 is a big, huge year, presidential and congressional, and the 18th district is not really on the map. And so yes, I would say we are forgotten.
Okay. Now, you walked away from the Democrat Party before walk away was a movement. Why did you do that?
I walked away because I saw the corruption from the inside. The inner workings on the presidential campaign. I was a surrogate in 2007, 2008 for Senator Clinton, and I actually walked away in 2008. I voted for McCain because the Democratic Party didn't respect its rules. They took delegates from Hillary and gave to Obama, and then they turned around in 2016 and took delegates from Bernie and gave to Hillary. So I switched in 2016 officially, but I had been voting since 2008 Republican, and I switched in 2016 because I wanted to vote for candidate Trump in the primary and also help his campaign win. So I officially switched in 2016.
Yeah. Just a quick comment. Have your thoughts changed since switching parties?
It has. I'm glad I switched. If I hadn't officially switched in 2016, there's no way I could be a Democrat right now. It's not my father, my grandfathers. It's nobody's Democratic Party. These people are socialists, downright fascist, and from infanticide to the violence, from Antifa to they're terrorizing anybody that doesn't agree with what they agree with. We don't have to all believe or think the same thing, but we can agree to disagree without being disagreeable.
Exactly.
And they're not tolerating any opinion that, in fact, they're censoring speech, conservative speech, conservative voices. So there's no way I could have remained a Democrat. So I'm happy that I left. I'm very happy.
Now, if you had one message for the Republican Party, what would that be? Communication,
messaging. The messaging is poor. The Democratic Party has marginalized the Republican Party. We have been branded as racist, sexist, homophobic, all the isms. But it's really projection, because in reality, that's the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party are masters at words and twisting words. So the Republican Party has to take the message back and have a unified message and tell the truth. The political correctness of the Republican Party is actually killing it. Tell the truth about the fact that this is the Freedom Party. This is the party of Lincoln. And that truth needs to be told. Everything that has helped, especially for the Black community, everything that has helped us has been from the Republican Party, from freeing the slaves to everything. So we need to do a better job. The messaging is poor. So and we need to not be afraid. And just because somebody calls you, all those names, racist, sexist, just don't even pay attention to it. Speak the truth. Speak the truth.
Okay, now something I saw. You've referred to abortion as Black genocide. Why?
Well, it's Black genocide because as a community, we, Black people, are 13% of the population, not even 12.85% of the population. We're 50 million down because of abortion. And abortion came into being because of Margaret Sanger and the other eugenicists. They originally was the American Birth Control League before it became Planned Parenthood. And their agenda was to eliminate Black weeds, the undesirables. Poor whites, poor Blacks, and poor others, anybody that they felt wasn't, worthy. And traditionally, and even now, it's targeting the Black community. So because of abortion, we are 50 million down. And right now, the Pew Research study says in 2050, which is a scary thought, the population for Blacks is a flat line. It's not going to improve. So that's really shocking, in 30 years, that because of abortion. And there's another thing that's not being told, the fact that once a woman has an abortion, her risk for breast cancer goes up 50%. So there's a lot of things that are not being told about it. But Ma'afa 21 is a movie. It's available on YouTube that talks about the truth. Ma'afa, M-A-A-F-A, means the great tragedy. And so abortion, it got into Harlem through the Black pastors. It took money to say it was better to space out the life of the space the babies for the life of the mother and the children. And it was just better. And it's not better. So because of abortion, we are, not even 13%. And when you look at where the abortion clinics are, they're always in the poor neighborhood, and targeting the Black community. And now Planned Parenthood is not only doing the abortions, but they're selling the body parts, profiting off of it, kicking money back to politicians. So it's just a real, it's horrific. It's horrific. And spiritually, God is not pleased. We're not protecting our babies.
Okay, so we'll just change the topic a little bit. How can we keep our schools safe from mass murder?
Well, first of all, eliminate the gun-free zones. Anytime that there's a gun-free zone, that's just a waving a red flag in front of anybody that wants to bring a gun to do harm. So schools should not be gun-free zones. I feel that teachers and other administration members should be armed, and trained in the proper use and safety of a firearm. And also, I believe that if they don't want to arm the school districts are going to decide for themselves, but if they don't want to arm the teachers, then perhaps they could get some retired police or military that would be willing to come in, either volunteer or nominal fee to help protect the children. We protect our money, we protect our jewels, we protect everything that's, replaceable, but we don't protect our children. And that's a disgrace. So it's no gun-free zones, and certainly not a school.
So are you a strong supporter of the Second Amendment?
Oh, absolutely. I'm a member of FOAC. In fact, I'm running for the FOAC board currently. I'm also an NRA member. And my slogan for my campaign, Real Women Carry, because women need to, more women need to carry. And also, as a minority, I want to improve the gun ownership because having guns kept a lot of us from being lynched. And part of the gun grab is going to affect any community that's urban, because you need to be able to defend yourself, defend your family, and you can't bring a knife to a gunfight. So I'm very, very much strong Second Amendment, and I want gun training and gun safety, responsible gun ownership in the community. But I am all for the Second Amendment and making sure, because if you lose the second, you lose the rest of them.
You do. And FARAC being Firearm Owners Against Crime. And now, for Republican or Democrat viewers out there, why should they vote for you?
Well, I've been advocating for 19 years, and I bring true bipartisanship because I know the best of both parties, so I can work across the aisle. I've been working across the aisle as a grassroots advocate for more than 30 years. So right now, our district is failing, under the 25-year reign of Mike Doyle. So I know how to get it done, and I want this district to improve. I live here. I'm a member of this community, and I feel that I can do a better job. And I'm just asking for my fellow neighbors to just give me the opportunity to prove to them that I can do a better job. Because I've been fighting in the shadows, and you didn't even know I was fighting for you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what are your thoughts on the current state of healthcare?
Well, healthcare is such a big problem. Right now, when you think about the 2018 midterms, the Democratic Party ran on fixing healthcare, and, they spent the majority of their time on impeachment. Nothing's been done. So right now, we need to repeal Obamacare, completely repeal it because it was unnecessary. In my opinion, a better plan would have been to eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse of Medicare and Medicaid, improve the income guidelines so that people wouldn't fall through the cracks because of the income, and then also continue to cover pre-existing conditions and cover the dependents up to 26, but also allow insurance to be purchased across state lines, and definitely bring down the cost of prescription drugs, because it's outrageous that we pay so much more than other countries for the same medication. So I believe that would be a more beneficial way to improve the situation. We didn't need another program, Obamacare, because it just, because of the bureaucracy, it just made government too big, too huge. And, Obama promised you could keep your doctor, keep your plan, and people, it's a mess. People ended up paying almost quadruple more. And I so appreciate President Trump passing right to try for experimental, treatment. Because at this point, if you're being diagnosed with something fatal, why not? Why not? So I appreciate that, and I appreciate all that he's doing for us in terms of trying to get, a better healthcare plan. And
are you aware that Pennsylvania is currently the #1 state for Lyme disease?
Sadly, I am aware of that, and I know. On the state level, the House Bill 629 has just passed in the House and is headed to the Senate to come up with a state strategy to address Lyme disease. And I can't even begin to tell you how it saddens me, the fact that we're #1. And on the federal level, HR 220 has been introduced, and currently Mike Doyle has not co-sponsored the bill.
That's right, yeah. He hasn't co-sponsored it.
To come up with a national strategy to address Lyme disease, and also treatment, research, And for Pennsylvania being number one is a tragedy. It not only affects health of the residents of the Commonwealth, it affects our population. Are people going to stay here? It affects residency. Are people going to even want to move here? It affects jobs, in terms of, being too ill to work, disability. Yeah. So we need to tackle this problem right now, because it is, in my opinion, it is an epidemic. And you think about the fact that being number one out of 50 states, that's unacceptable. So I'm very happy that that it's being addressed, and I support it. I so support it, and I'm happy that it's being done.
Okay. So what are your views on taxation? For example, do you believe in a flat tax or in a wealth tax?
I don't believe in a flat tax or a wealth tax. In fact, we're being overtaxed. I so appreciate President Trump's tax cuts that has not only helped us as citizens, has helped grow the economy, help businesses. And, right now, when you think about the fact that the candidates that are running right now on the Democratic ticket, they want 70%. So if you combine 70% on a federal level plus 3% on, 3% on Pittsburgh city taxes, 3.07% state taxes. Local taxes run anywhere from 1% in Oakdale and other places to 4% in McKeesport. Pittsburgh is outrageous in terms of their 3%, but then you have Philadelphia with 3.88%. So when you add all of this up, from what they're proposing, people will come home with anywhere from 23 cents to maybe 20 cents, and that's not counting school taxes, property taxes, sales tax. So we're just being taxed, and quite frankly, God only wants 10%, and this is outrageous. Lower the taxes. Too many taxes already.
Okay, and the final question for you for today is, what's your view on education? That's always a big issue, isn't it?
Well, I've been an educational advocate for 30 years, and I know that education is the deciding factor between success and failure. I'm for school choice 100%. Parents decide, whether they want to homeschool, private school, public school, parochial, charter. Parents decide, and they should be vouchers. I'm for vouchers 100%. I believe that you should be able to take your child's portion, money, tax money, and take it, to wherever you want it to go. Right now, out of the 500 plus school districts, the majority of the school districts in this state are failing. And the two largest school districts that get the most money are doing the worst, Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. So parents deserve the opportunity to do other options, homeschool or even charter school or private school, parochial school. They should be able to take the money with their children and get a better chance for their kids. Education is going to be, it is the decider in terms of success or failure. And right now, in the Commonwealth and in the nation, our schools are failing. We're not even in the top 10 for education worldwide. We're in the bottom for the countries of our, the quote unquote, the industrial world. We're towards the bottom, and that's unacceptable. We spend the most on education, but the kids are failing.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you for coming in. Now, if people want to get in touch with you, you're welcome. So, if people want to get in touch with you, how would they get in touch with you if they want to help or if they want to donate?
They can follow me on Facebook, Kim Mack for Congress. They can like my page. They can follow me on Twitter at Kim Mack 2016. I have a website now, www.pa4kim, that's pa4kim.com. And they can also reach me by phone, area code 724-315-5122.
Okay, so if you live in the 18th district, please get involved and find out who your representatives are. Kim Mack, she's running for candidate for that congressional seat. And I want to thank you for coming in today, Kim. Very nice to see you. And I'm sure we'll see you again. And good night, everyone. You're welcome.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. you.